Hi, I'm Phil Binks. I'm going to show you today how on a Mac you can use a keyboard command to launch any application. There's several reasons why this might be useful. Firstly, you might just want to use the key command to bring the application to the front or launch it. Secondly though, you might have some trigger application or a keyboard that you want to make sure that that application is the one in the foreground before then triggering a subsequent action. This is really useful to be able to do, and I'm going to show you how. We're going to use Automator, the system preferences, the folder network, and a little bit of AppleScript. So it might sound difficult and daunting, but I'm going to keep it as short and simple as possible. The first thing that we're going to need to do is to launch a program which some of you may have never used, which is called Automator. That is already on your Mac. What you need to do is simply launch that application from your applications folder. It's got this icon of a little robot. So if you have that, just launch the Automator application first. Once you launch the Automator application, you'll find that it opens up with this window. If you don't get this window, what you might need to do is you might need to go to New, and it will still open up the window. Once you've opened this window, what we're going to do is click on this gear cog which says Quick Action. Now I'm in Catalina at the moment. This is the new Catalina. Click on Quick Action and click Choose. And that then sets up the next box within Automator. At the top it says Workflow receives current, and we're going to go here and drop all the way to the bottom and say No input. We can leave in any application. We can change the colour if we really want to. You can just have a different colour there. But what we're now going to do is find the AppleScript. So in the search bar at the top, if you simply type Apple, you'll find that there's a couple of options, and one here that says Run AppleScript. If you click and drag that into this blue area, then it says Run AppleScript, and there's some text in this section. I want you to highlight the text and delete it. And then we're going to type something very simple, and that is activate, exactly the same way as I'm doing, application, and then we open the speech marks, and then you would type in the application name exactly as it appears on your Mac. For instance, calculator, just as an example. And you end it with the speech marks. So the application called calculator on my Mac will be activated if I run this AppleScript. We can test that very easily by simply clicking on this play button. Let's click it. And all of a sudden, amazingly, the calculator application has come up. If I close it once more and I click it once more, again the calculator will open. So I've quit it and it will relaunch it. So the activate AppleScript will launch a closed application, but it will bring forward an application that may be in the background, and this is incredibly useful for us if we're trying to use triggers. What we then do is we need to save this script. So we go to File, Save, and we can just save the script with that name. So you might call it Activate, and then the name of the program that it's going to activate. And click on Save. Now, what you're thinking perhaps is, I don't know where this has gone to. It's just asked me to save the application. So what we can do now is we can quit Automator. The next important thing is to find where that script actually is. If we go to open up a window in the Finder, so we go find a new window, what I'd like to show you is that if I go to the Go menu, I want to go to the library, the user's library. So my name is Helpful Phil on this particular instance of the Mac, but there's no library showing at this particular time. To get the library option up, you press the Alt key, the Option key on your keyboard, and watch this. I'm just on the menu here. It appears there. I'll let go of the Alt key, press it down once more, and it says library. So that is one way to get into the library. If I click it, then my library will be open, and all of the things that are in my user's library on this Mac are now shown. If you want to have the library menu permanently available to you just for clicking instead of having to press the Alt button, go to the Finder menu, go to New Finder Window, select your user instance here on the left hand side, and then go to the View menu, go to Show View Options, and you'll find that Show Library Folder here is a clickable function. If I do that, then now that library is permanently available to me. This is the library for the user. In that library, we are going to double click, and we're going to go down to an area that says Services. Double click Services, and now you'll find that this is where your Automator actions are stored. So we've got an Activate Calculator, which I did earlier. That's where it got stored. If I double click it, it opens up the Automator window so that I can edit it if I want to, but of course I could then just run the application if I wanted as well from here. Now what we need to do is somehow assign a keyboard shortcut to this service, this activation of the application. The way we do that is we go to the System Preferences. In System Preferences we go to Keyboard. In the keyboard area we go to the center one, the Shortcuts. In Shortcuts we then go to Services. Remember, it was a Services menu, wasn't it? If you then scroll all the way down to the bottom of the Services menu, you'll see many things in there probably. The last one, it says, is General. And in the General area, this is where your services menus that appear in that library that we've just seen, that's where your service will appear. So we see Activate Calculator, and it is in this mode that I can add a shortcut. Now I tend to find that if I want to add a shortcut for launching or activating an application, I tend to use Control, Alt, Command, and then if it's available, the first letter of the application. Now the shortcuts here always require a Command key to be pressed, and I've discovered in the practice that you can't use my usual Control, Alt, Command and then C for calculator. So instead I'm going to go Shift, Alt, Command, C. And if I then click away, we can see that that's the shortcut that's been assigned to this particular activity. I can now test it if I want to. Simply go Shift, Alt, Command, C, and that has launched the calculator application, or whichever application you've assigned it to. So now we have a shortcut available to us that we can use as a precursor to any other external triggers if we want to bring the application to the front, or to launch it before that subsequent trigger is made. So now we can close the System Preferences window, and if I just go back to the Finder, if you click on the Finder, you'll see the Services menu, and you can actually see the services that you've got where you've created those kind of shortcuts. And also, if you need to go to the Services Preferences, there's a very quick shortcut there that opens up the system preferences, the shortcuts, and then you can go back down here and retry some more shortcuts if your one hasn't worked for some reason. I hope you found this useful. Use this with any trigger commands, whether you've got Keyboard Maestro, Typinator, Numpad, combined normally with some sort of delay and then subsequent action. That will mean that your program will launch and then your action can take place. So in this video we have covered a little bit of Automator action combined with some AppleScript, being able to launch an application simply with a keyboard command, which you can then use in any triggering application or button command control. If you found this useful, please subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you in the near future.